Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
Ooni of Ife is said to be very, very furious, as in deeply furious, after uncovering a fresh conspiracy in the palace during the preparation for the second full moon ritual, an ancient and highly revered spiritual ceremony. Of course, will put Queen Naomi where Queen Naomi has always been as a wife to the Ooni of Ife. We are all aware of the fact that Queen Naomi can never be seen with the Ooni of Ife publicly. We are all aware of what happened when Queen Naomi and the Ooni of Ife were seen in Akure together. Even though they never sat together, Naomi was the other side, Ooni was the other side, because they wanted Naomi to bring Tadenikawo to that event. But the elders used this thing to collect. In fact, what they did to Ooni of Ife, they said Kabiyesi should resign, or is it resign or to be dethroned, all of that. And now for Naomi and the Ooni of Ife to be seen as man and wife, they need to do this full moon rituals and all of that. But it's been very, very cumbersome for Kabiyesi to succeed, because there are still elders who are working against it because they are afraid of Queen Naomi's coming back. And you are all aware that it's not just the elders. The Oloris are also fighting at the background, on the background. They are fighting with the elders. This is a very big connivance between the Oloris and the elders, because they don't want Naomi back into the palace. And when Kabiyesi uncovered the conspiracy, Kabiyesi was so furious. Like, how the hell, how dare you, why would you be doing this? This new scandal follows growing whisper that Queen Naomi's return to the palace is no longer a matter of if, but when. Her recent closeness to the Ooni of Ife, her spiritual influence, and her growing popularity among the Yoruba people have unsettled many in the palace, especially those who have benefited from her absence. The full moon ritual, which was meant to be a sacred gathering for alignment with the ancestors and for blessing upon the kingdom, and the Ooni of Ife, is something that is very, very important. And these elders are doing everything to derail it. When Ooni of Ife brought out the ancient sword, they said that he had thought that they will come out and swear, use the ancient sword to, convince him that this is actually what, the gods want, okay, for Iyanifa to go out and bring those items. But the way the elders scattered from the palace of the Ooni of Ife, the way they behaved, everything that happens to be an indicator that, or an indication that it wasn't even from the gods. They are the ones who are deciding how Queen Naomi runs her life, or how Queen Naomi's destiny will come forth. They are the ones that don't want her in the palace. People are just so selfish. Whether Kabiyesi is unhappy, whether Kabiyesi is, not fulfilled because the wife is not in the palace, is not their business. Everything is all about gains, like what we see on social media today, where you see people, using, formalin to, preserve fish and a whole lot of things, using acid to fry granite and all of that. The world that we live in today have turned to a world of gains. Nothing matters. The life of people do not matter. Their happiness do not matter. Everything is all about gains, and that is applicable in every facet of life, okay? And so right now, Kabiyesi, who is so, pain over that level of treachery, that level of betrayal, okay, is said to have, suspended three or four elders indefinitely, 3 or 4 elders, and it's good. Let Kabiyesi continue to reduce them. So at the point now, we will now have 2% and 98% for Queen Naomi and 2% against Naomi. Let's see how they continue to fight. He has reduced them. Everything that is going on now shows that Kabiyesi is Oba. Kabiyesi is the Ooni of Ife. You don't even have the audacity to do those kind of things to him. You cannot now. You can't. Who the hell do you think you are to decide who the Ooni of Ife stays with or who the Ooni of Ife doesn't stay with? They said the Ooni of Ife, known for his calm and diplomatic nature, reportedly lost his patience and summoned a private council with his most trusted aides. It was during this meeting that three elders, okay, it's three, not four, sorry about that, three elders who had served in various spiritual adversary roles were accused of being part of a plot to spiritually sabotage the ceremony. These elders were said to have strong ties with certain, factions in the palace who believed that Queen Naomi's return would shift the power dynamic significantly. Their confession came after intense questioning. They admitted they had conspired to, FAKE some of the sacred items with the hope that the ritual would be, deemed invalid. They said they hatched that plot. Sorry about that sound. Somebody was at the door. They said they hatched that plot, okay, because they are all aware that this season of ritual is very, very important. It's all about homecoming, fertility, and restoration. And, so much. It seemed like the perfect time for the Oni to, spiritually realign with Queen Naomi, his first love, and the only woman who had, held such deep influence over the sacred affairs of the palace, okay? So they said that, Ooni of Ife suspended three of those elders who have worked in different capacities inside the palace of the Ooni of Ife. A lot of these elders who are causing all of this havoc, they are even working like, do not just work as elders, they are working, they are earning, money from the palace, okay? And they keep doing this to the Ooni of Ife. They said they have been suspended indefinitely, because you know how Ooni of Ife got to find out that they actually plotted against Olorinams because of the ancient sword. When the ancient sword is before you, you can't lie. You have no choice than to speak the truth. Or if you lie before the ancient sword, you will go back home, and the next day, in fact, that whole night, you'll be fighting with the gods. They said people who have held the ancient sword to swear in falsehood, they said they go back home, their body begins to rise, like they'll have swollen parts of their bodies and everything. So the ancient sword is not something you begin to play with or lie to, okay, or lie against, okay? And they said while they were holding the ancient sword, or while the Ooni of Ife was holding the ancient sword, they had to confess everything that they had done. And that was how, with them admitting, Kabiyesi, gave that indefinite suspension. The thing is that if you have people who corrupt the system, you begin to remove them one after the other. It doesn't matter who goes first. Remove them and, cleanse the system. And that is exactly what the Ooni of Ife is doing. As it is, as we are hearing right now, they say the full moon ritual is going to still happen on first week of next week. The first, maybe between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the full moon ritual will happen. That's the second full moon ritual to the glory of God. Sometimes when I'm doing videos, you get to hear some of these sounds and all of that. Please, I am sorry you don't know that. Sometimes people are walking around and all of that. Appreciate you. I love you. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.